Yeah.
All right, so just to start things right off, I'm going to talk about my first movie review. Going to talk about Den of Thieves, which stars Gerald Butler and O'Shea Jackson, 50 Cent, Paul Schreiber. So the basic premise of this movie is a group of bank robbers attempt to pull off one of the most difficult tasks, and that is robbing the federal bank. And this is all set in Los Angeles, which the movie opens up with text telling you that Los Angeles is basically the bank robbing capital of the world. Like, more bank robberies happen in Los Angeles than anywhere else, which is something I never knew about before.
I thought that was Boston's job.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, I guess Los Angeles took over for Boston, I guess, because they say that.
So,
Yeah, I mean, they taking all their robberies. Apparently, they so good at stealing, they stole robberies, because they just took it right from them, because they're set in Los Angeles. And the person that's leading the crew is Pablo Schreiber, who people might know him. He was a porn stash in Orange is the New Black. And he's the leader of the crew. The marketing would actually lead you to believe that it's more 50 Cent, because of the marketing of the movie. Like, when you see him, he's usually front and center of the posters and everything. Probably because he's a pretty big name in the film. I mean, especially to the more, black market, he's the big name. But actually 50 Cent actually barely has any lines in this movie, which is actually good, because 50 Cent went to the Shaq School of Acting, where you don't really open your mouth when you talk, you just kind of mumble your words and don't really open your mouth. It's like, I understand you got shot in the jaw, but can you just open your mouth just a tad bit more? Like, it's okay to just enunciate just a little bit more, because he's just mumbling a lot of way through this. But I mean, that's okay, because he doesn't talk that much, so it's like, okay, I kind of forgive him. But one of my things I really liked about it was Pablo Schreiber, and how he does have a great intensity about him. How he does have a guy who is very intelligent at what he does, because there's nothing more American than we love than a criminal or somebody who's just great at what they do. And this guy is great at robbing banks. That's what he's really great at. And with them, they're finna pull off this big heist of robbing the Federal Reserve Bank, which is, they say, is the bank of banks. Like, at any time in this bank, there's between 500 to 800 billion dollars, and they shuffle all that money through there. And they say, like, at the end of every day, they just shred $30 million. This $30 million they just destroy, because it's like, these are unused bills. We don't need them anymore, so we're just gonna shred them. Like, just $30 million a day, just like that. And that's what they plan on stealing. And a lot of the movie, it's kind of like, it's basically Heat for dumb people. It's, if you kind of want to get that same feeling, but not all the great writing and great acting, just kind of take a lot of elements out and just keep mostly the shootouts. That's kind of what you get here. And the shootouts are really good.
Get down behind the wheel. Sheriff's Department, lady, get in the car.
I mean, a lot of the sound in this movie is incredible. I mean, when they're doing the shootout scenes, it's very visceral, really, really visceral, and really sounds amazing. And with the Gerald Butler character, I mean, there's not a scene he's in where he's not eating, drinking, smoking, or swearing. I mean, he's just that, kind of cliche, gritty cop, who is, too close to the edge, and, he does things that maybe go outside the boundaries of what a police officer is supposed to do, but it's okay, because he's trying to, he's got to get on the bad guy's level to catch them. And, a lot of that is really super cliche. I mean, he even has like a bad marriage that's falling apart, that, the wife is taking the kids, all that type of stuff. And I mean, that's not really all that interesting, really. They just kind of throw that in there. And a lot of the cops in this, they're not really fleshed out. I mean, besides for Gerald Butler, who has a very, like I said, very cliche backstory, all the other cops are just like, okay, there's the black guy, there's the dude who wears shades, there's the dude who's kind of got a mohawk, who's all muscles and tattoos. I mean, a lot of the crew that he rolls with is pretty just not really all that.
Is this a heist movie or a Mad Max cosplay?
I mean, exactly. I'm telling you, a lot of dudes in this movie, they're all really swole and tattoos and, roided out. Like, I'm telling you, like, there's a lot of these type of people in this movie. And it's a basic cops and robbers type story. The only people that really kind of feel sort of fleshed out a little bit is the actual robbers themselves, like Pablo Schreiber. You get a little bit of his backstory, him being like a ex-con, former Marine, so you get a little bit of his story. 50 Cent, you get to see a little bit of his home life. There's actually a funny scene in the movie where he intimidates his daughter's about to go on a prom date, and he like intimidates her prom date.
Got it. Don't worry about it. Okay, we're just gonna talk.
So here's what's up. For the past 16 years, my daughter's safety and protection has been my responsibility and my responsibility only. Now, for the first time in her life, I gotta hand you that responsibility. Don't fuck up, or your mama will weep if she has to wheel your ass around every day the rest of your life.
Which is, that's pretty funny. But, I mean, you get a little bit more sense of them than you do ever the actual cops themselves. And there's lots of stuff that he does that Gerard Butler's character does that's just kind of dumb. That's kind of stupid. Like, why would you do that? Like, they even try to do a scene in this movie that's kind of like Heat. And, like, the scene between Al Pacino and Robert De Niro where they're sitting at the restaurant. And it's like, I mean, that's handled so incredibly poorly. I mean, honestly, I think that this may provide some good kind of elements for people, like just a kind of a dumb grade action movie that you watch on TV. And I give it a thumbs up and tune in for that. But I don't think it's anything remarkably that special. Like Pablo Schreiber, I thought he had great intensity about him. It's just a basic cops and robbers story, nothing all that special. And then the ending of this movie is actually something you got to believe, because it is pretty stupid what happens with him, with the ending and the O'Shea Jackson character. I mean, that's just something you got to see to believe. But I mean, I still give it a thumbs up and tunes in. I think you would probably be better off seeing it. Yeah, I guess a matinee. I guess you'd see that. Regular price.
Maybe even a rental.
Yeah, rental. I think you would have no problems. VOD or Redbox it. I think you'll still get the same enjoyment. Enjoyment.
So tune in to a rental or a Redbox. Sounds good.
Yeah, so something like that. Hello, thanks for checking out our content. If you liked it, let us know, and if you didn't, let us know that as well. If you want to see more content, we post every Saturday on SoundCloud and YouTube at The Afternoon Tune. You can also find us through various social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all one word at The Afternoon Tune. And if you don't deal with any of that social media stuff, you can also find us through our email at theafternoontune@gmail.com. And don't forget to always stay tuned.